I'm Dr. S.P. Tiwari, MD Medicine, going to talk about the cirrhosis liver. It is a chronic disease in which there has been diffuse destruction and fibrotic regeneration of hepatic cells. Tissue is replaced by fibrotic tissue. Normal liver structure and vasculature is altered and impairing its blood supply and lymph flow. It results in hepatic insufficiency and portal hypertension. So, cirrhosis of liver is a chronic progressive disease characterized by widespread fibrosis, scarring, and nodule formation. Development of cirrhosis is insidious. It takes prolonged course. Usually, after decades of chronic liver disease, cirrhosis develops. Cirrhosis is consequence of chronic liver disease characterized by replacement of liver tissue by fibrosis, scar tissue, and regeneration. These regenerating nodules leads loss of liver function. Regarding incidence, cirrhosis is the 8th leading cause of death in the United States. Around 20% of patients with chronic hepatitis C virus and 10 to 20% of patients with chronic hepatitis B virus, they develop cirrhosis. Cirrhosis is mainly classified into 4 types: post-alcoholic, post-necrotic, post-biliary, and cardiac cirrhosis. These are main 4 types of cirrhosis liver. Alcoholic cirrhosis is also known as Lennox cirrhosis or micronodular cirrhosis. Men are more likely involved, and fibrosis occurs mainly around central vein and portal areas. It is associated with chronic alcoholic abuse. Small nodules form as a result of some offending agents. Post-necrotic cirrhosis is most common worldwide. It is mainly found in females. Broad bands of scar tissue are formed. It is caused by post-viral B and C hepatitis and post-intoxication with industrial chemicals. It is more common in women. It is also known as macronodular cirrhosis, as nodules are bigger in size. In biliary cirrhosis, scarring around bile ducts and lobes of the liver. It results from chronic biliary injury and obstruction of the intrahepatic or extrahepatic biliary system. Primary biliary cirrhosis and primary sclerosing cholangitis are biliary causes of cirrhosis. Cardiogenic cirrhosis, it is rare. It is chronic liver disease associated with long-term severe right-sided heart failure. It is caused by AV valve disease, constrictive pericarditis, etc. About etiology and risk factors. Chronic viral infections of the liver, that is hepatitis type B, chronic hepatitis C, then fatty liver associated with obesity and diabetes, then after alcohol abuse, chronic alcohol users, they develop cirrhosis liver. Then other causes include primary biliary cirrhosis, primary sclerosing cholangitis, biliary atresia, cystic fibrosis, hemochromatosis, Wilson's disease, Budd-Chiari syndrome, then galactosemia, autoimmune hepatitis, medication-induced like methotrexate, acetaminophen, then infection like syphilis, then lastly amyloidosis. Coming on to pathophysiology of the disease. Due to various etiological factors, there occur diffuse dissection and regeneration of the liver cells. There occur formation of fibrous tissue. Destroyed liver cells are replaced gradually by scar tissue, necrotic tissue, and yielding fibrosis, and cirrhosis changes occurs over the liver. Obstruction of blood flow, lymph flow, and bile flow occurs. Due to that, hepatic insufficiency supervenes. So, in liver cirrhosis, there are various staging, starting from the healthy liver tissue, then there occur fatty liver changes, then liver fibrosis, and this fibrosis part get converted into cirrhosis of liver, then obstructive features, and resulting into hepatic insufficiency. So these are various stages of the liver cirrhosis. Regarding clinical features of cirrhosis liver, early manifestations may be only fatigue. Later on, symptoms appear due to complications of disease like pain in right hypochondrium, jaundice, ascites, peripheral swelling, then other symptoms of GI, hematological endocrinal disturbances, peripheral neuropathy, which we will discuss. If we discuss these features in these systemic wise, so in neurological symptoms, there may be encephalopathy, neuropathy, then in gastrointestinal, there will be anorexia, dyspepsia, nausea, vomiting, changes in bowel habit, abdominal distension, fetor hepaticus, esophageal and gastric varices, so there may be hematemesis, gastritis, and hemorrhoids, bleeding, PR, etc. In reproductive system, there may be amenorrhea, then impotence, gynecomastia. In integumentary system, there may be jaundice, spirongioma, palmar erythema, petechial hemorrhages, capitmetry. In hematological anemia, thrombocytopenia, leukopenia, coagulation disorder, splenomegaly. Then in metabolic hypokalemia, hyponatremia, hypoalbuminemia, and cardiovascular fluid retention, peripheral edema, and ascites. Coming on to diagnostic evaluation, apart from history taking, then physical examinations, liver enzymes are elevated, SGPT, SGOT, that is ASTLT, GGT, alkaline phosphatase, then increased level of serum bilirubin, ultrasound of liver shows severity of cirrhosis, liver biopsy, liver biopsy reveals different changes in the liver histology, arteries and the tubular structures, then prolonged performance time. Other tests include complete hemogram, serum electrolytes, then endoscopy, esophagogastroduodenoscopy, then CT scan abdomen, lipid profile, parasynthesis done to examine ascitic fluid for cell count, protein, bacterial, etc. Then PTC, percutaneous transhepatic cholangiography. Regarding management, first of all, stop all the toxic substances like alcohol and drugs to avoid further damage. Then correction of nutritional deficiencies with vitamins and nutrition supplements, high calorie diet and moderate to high protein diet. Treatment of ascites and fluid and electrolyte balances, restrict sodium and water intake depending upon amount of fluid retention, bed rest to aid in diuresis, then diuretic therapy, furosemide along with spironolactone, reductone, or other potassium sparing diuretics that inhibits the action of aldosterone on the kidneys. Abdominal parasynthesis is also done to remove extra fluid if it is not excreted out by the use of diuretics. This ascitic fluid may be ultrafiltrated and reinfused through central venous access, administration of albumin to maintain osmotic pressure. One tips procedure is there to deal with ascites. In this, a stent is made between hepatic vein and portal vein so as to decrease the accumulation of blood in portal venous system, and ascites is portal pressure is reduced. For symptomatic treatment, analgesics, antiemetics, and along with that, Dufalac to prevent liver failure. The Dufalac is lactulose. It is given through oral route as well as through enema also. And then neomycin. Apart from that, rifaximin is also used. And orthotopic liver transplantation may be necessary in terminal stage. Regarding complications, there may be hyponatremia, bleeding from esophageal varices, coagulopathy, spontaneous bacterial peritonitis, then hepatic encephalopathy, which may be precipitated by the use of sedatives, high protein diet, sepsis, electrolyte imbalances, parasynthesis, and also by the use of excessive use of diuretics.